And welcome everybody to a special beginning of the summer edition of Indigo Inspire Live here on Facebook and Instagram. I am your host, Patrice DeLisser, and riding with me, my partner in music crime, the one and only Sherwin Williams from Gospel Music Buzz. What's going on, Sherwin? You're on mute.
What's happening? What's happening? What is happening? What is happening? We are here. We are back. I mean, so much has been happening in the industry. I feel like right now everyone is chatting about all the stellar happenings. We got what, like maybe another month? Actually, exactly another month, right? July
Yeah,
20th. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that whole 3, 4 days, 18 through the 20th, so many different activities is going to be going on. Then I saw they just dropped like an Afro beat situation. The first of that, they're gonna be doing the Stellar Afro beat. There's a comedy show. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff that's happening that week. And of course, some of our collaborators, Root Magazine, Route 15, they are
Yep.
having their event. Carlos Urban Soul Cafe. Carlos have about three different events: the White and Denim Worship Brunch, and a few other Urban Soul Cafe honors, and a bunch of other stuff that's happening. So I think that's what we're going to be seeing a whole lot of going into that. And then I guess the only other thing I would mention on my side that we've been involved with is the Gospel Explosion, which
Yeah.
is happening. That's coming up. Gospel Explosion, September 28th. That's going to be at the Lehman Performance Center. So, I'm looking forward to that. But before we talk about anything else, and I know, bring our guests on and all of that jazz, you just wrapped up an event that I missed. So I need you to give me the 30-second and give the folks. I know you did a recap last night, with Mo Base. You guys talked about everything there, but how are you feeling now? Like, can you breathe? Can you relax? Can you de-stress now? Are you back home? You still in Atlanta? Like, what's the deal?
Well, first of all, thank you so much because this is really not by my night. And if you want to see the recap that Morgan and I did last night, please make sure you check it out on in our Instagram page.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The Indigo Inspire Music Festival that took place in Atlanta on June 6th was absolute fire. When you are immersed in it, sometimes you can't necessarily see what's happening, but by all accounts, from people, from the participants um, to every way from Dr. Bobby Jones, who sanctioned the event, and he couldn't be there personally because of schedule changes, but he was there
Mhm.
present by video, and it was absolutely spectacular. It took me about 3 or 4 days to recover because I stayed in Atlanta, and I'm so glad I did because usually I would fly back to Philadelphia, but I said no, I'm going to hang in Atlanta for
Yeah.
a few days, and so really for the first couple of days, I was really rocked out. I really rocked out. But big shout out, first of all, to my media partners and the ones who just supported me. I knew you couldn't be there, Sherwin, but Sherwin from Gospel Music Buzz. I want to thank Carlos Hale from Urban Soul Cafe, the Gospel Truth, who he also could not be there at the time, but you guys were supportive. Thank Root Magazine for their support. Want to give a big shout out to Praise 102.5 Nico Flowers.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
host was banging. DJ Dwight Stone, DJ from Ricky Smiley Show, he came in there on the ones and twos. Those Baxters who hosted the pre-show with our
Mhm.
Indigo Inspired Independent Artist winners, who we were so elated that Dr. Bobby Jones invited them personally that night. They are
I
going to
heard.
be
Yeah.
on the Dr. Bobby Jones Presents show in Nashville, Tennessee. So shout out once again to Kimberly Jackson, Robert Copeland Jr., and Renwick Dewsbury. You are not just winners for us, but you are now going to be catapulted into the next stratosphere of ministry. And Dr. Bobby Jones will give sanction for nothing. And so we were just so honored that he sanctioned our event, gave his blessing, and to the fact that he just kind of just partnered with us in that blessing. Um, Incredible. Special thanks to Sam Collier, pastor of the Story Atlanta Church, for
Yeah.
allowing us
Yeah.
to have it there at their facility. And they were gracious. I want to thank Cash, the events coordinator, and Isaac, who was the sound technician there. The hospitality was so amazing. So yes, we do it again? Yes, yes, yes. We were getting calls, Sherwin, as it was getting close. when we're going to bring it to a city. We're going to bring it to a city. And we just said, listen, let Morgan and I get through the first one. We'll debrief, we'll have a conversation. And so, yes, there will be one next year. And I'm happy to say that we've got some more announcements coming because Praise 102.5 is is coming in on something with us.
That's
So
it. That's it.
that's all I got to say for now. But we are excited. We are elated. Thank you once again. I named the artist on the main stage. Thank you to T Wise. Thank you to Jay. Thank you to Uncle Reese. Thank you for 1K Few. Thank you, Kenton Jones. And Javon and Trap came. They came. Let me tell you something. They came in there and almost shut the joint down. It was incredible. They did an amazing job. So it was packed all night. Jermaine Dolly, who came in there and slayed as usual. Philly was thick in the house on June the 6th in Atlanta. So we're excited about what's happening for the next, within this next year. There's a lot going to be happening. So stay tuned for what we got going on. So yeah, thanks so much for the opportunity to do that. But
Awesome.
tonight's not about me. Tonight is about we are celebrating one of the hottest bands in the nation. I'm not, this is not hyperbole. This is the facts. If you don't know Sincere by now, you'll never, never, never know them. Ah, did I do that? Yes, I did. Please, I mean, they got a brand new single that's going to be dropping midnight tonight called That's God. And I promise you, I've already gotten a taste of it. It all I can say is those of you who are watching live, I need you to share this live and I
Yeah, I'm
need
doing
you to
that right
tap
now
in with
myself. Yeah.
them. Tap in because tonight, when that thing drops at midnight, we need to see downloads. We need to see purchases. We need to see, because this band comes with it and they come harder and harder and harder every time they come out with new music. So, without further ado, we're going to bring them in here along with their co-writer and manager and producer and the whole 9 yards. Gerald Jones himself. How often do we get Gerald Jones on a platform from the Gospel Truth? So this is going to be a hot night. So please make sure you share this live. So I'm going to bring them all in now. They're all lined up and ready to come in. Let's get this party started. Starting with the one and only, the man himself. Listen, baby, this is how we doing it. This is how we doing it. Ain't
Let's
dumb
go.
something in the
Let's
business.
go.
Y'all better come on here.
Come on, come
Brian
on. Keep
Williams
it
is in
going.
the
Keep
house.
the
Y'all better
applause
keep
going.
the
Keep
claps
it going.
coming. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Daryl Effort is in the
Oh,
building
yeah.
too. Come on, we
Thank you.
rolling in here. We rolling
Yo,
in
So
yo,
here.
good to
yo,
see
yo,
y'all.
yo.
Levi.
We coming, we coming. Come
Levi is
on.
going
Salute,
somewhere. We
salute,
don't know what
salute,
he's going, but
salute.
he's going somewhere. And
Understand.
We
last but
are in
surely
the
not least,
house.
the one and only Gerald Jones from Gospel Music. Listen,
Man.
Gospel Truth,
That
Listen,
applause.
all
whole
this applause make me
stream
feel real important.
down.
It's big and important.
Shut
That
the
applause.
whole stream down. I had to be
That
careful how I
applause
said
is
it because I didn't
taking
want to
me
say something
out.
Yeah.
crazy. This is some kind of celebration. It is so amazing to be here with you guys tonight. Sherwin and I are hyped to be coming alongside you to help celebrate the birth of your new baby. That's God. And
Yes.
it is absolute fire, 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 fire. So, all right. So I'm going to listen. I'm going to sit back for a minute and let Sherwin take it over because I'm just hyped right now. I'm just hyped.
No, no, listen. We're gonna take it wherever direction we want to take it. But I think right now, it's just I think it's one of those situations where you're on the eve of this massive release. You're getting ready. You put in all the time. You put in everything, and you're just there waiting just to release it into the world. But even before all of that, like I'm always curious, like how long in the making was this project? Before you even decide on, hey, this is where we're gonna go for the name, before we deep dive in the name, because I think the name was pretty clever all by itself with the
Mm.
la la la. But just how long in the making was this single?
Well, this single
it took a minute. Actually, I had to pray and ask God to give me something because I was going through writer's block on
Mm.
this single, and not only just writer's block, but also coming up with the beats. The Because I'm a musician too, and I do the beats too. So coming up with the musical part of it was one of the hardest things. But I just sat down and said, God, you got to do this, because a lot of the stuff I've been coming up with didn't even make the album. Because this is one piece of what's to come in January, or the top of next year, I should say, in the album. But yeah, it was one of those things where God had to do this, because it wasn't. And I always use our manager Gerald as a gauge. People don't know he he isn't seen with us a lot at all, really. Sometimes, I mean, probably TV performances and things that we got, he'll show up to that. But behind the scenes, he's one of the guys that keeps me on my toes. Like, that's a hard character there. Like, I know y'all remember when Gerald used to write reviews on albums, and people used to be hot mad at him because he gonna tell the truth on the
All the
review.
time.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he ain't had no shame. Bigger artists, he don't care. Big artists, small artists, this is not good, or this is good. So he's been working with me on that side too. Like, James, that ain't it. Go back. That ain't it. Go back. And so finally, I was just like, God, you got to do this. And we came up with it. Then I'm going through writer's block. So now Gerald had to help me. I said, Gerald, man, put down some lyrics and let's try to, work together on this. And that's how we came up with this song. And then some of the guys, they get in the studio, we changing up stuff then. So it was a collective effort from everybody. This song is special because everybody had a hand in it.
So, okay, so this is so, for those of you who have been following Sincere for a while, probably one of the biggest songs that got a lot of radio play, obviously, was Win back in 2018,
Right,
2019. And so it was almost as if, where did this band come from? But you guys have been doing this for a minute. That was not your first song. You've been doing this for a minute. And let's talk a
right.
little bit, let's take a few steps back to just the just the development of the band, its sound, and just that whole process over the years.
Yeah, I always tell people, even like this song that we have, and I'm sure even the guys, they'll expound a little bit on the sound too. This song that we have, it's an upgraded version of the first album's sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing how things come back around full circle. But I don't know if you remember, we had a song called Love. It was another Love, not this one we just did, but on Kingdom Therapy, actually.
Hmm.
And it's had sort of the same old school Marvin Gaye vibe as this one that's coming out. And but we were told no with that one with radio, because the sound, it wasn't resonating there. So a lot of things that Sincere was doing back in the days, they were really, really ahead of their time. And
Hmm.
so
Mhm.
now, when we look at it and we're getting yeses across the board with a song that really, we never changed our sound, you know, it's like, okay, that the definition of timing, when people say it's all in the timing, we're seeing an example of that now.
Hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
with the band sound, it's always been there. It's always been like that. And people who has followed us, I remember having a conversation with Gerald, and they was like, oh, I was like, somebody was telling me, James, you're doing the best music of your life on this album, because they're mixing the album, one of the mixing engineers and stuff like that. And Gerald's like, man, you've been doing this. This ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But I think
Mhm.
the thing is that now this sound is coming to the front now, even with other artists. And we could thank artists like Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic and all of those guys for, kind of putting that sound to the
Mhm.
front, like D Mal, the producer. They kind of put that sound in the front because they had the resources to.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Hmm.
but we've always been doing it, and that sound came, it was birthed in me, man, through my father. My father is a musician, plays everything, sings, and actually he sings, the way he sings now is still current. Like, he's like, he sounds like he's in his 20s. He doesn't have an
Hmm.
old school sound.
Hmm.
Because we grew up on groups like Mint Condition, Guy,
Hmm.
Silk,
Hmm.
um, Earth, Wind, and Fire is our top favorite.
Mm,
The Winans, Commission. We grew up on all of those, and then we also. I was a quartet baby too because he was in quartet music. So we grew up
really?
on Joe
Okay.
LeGun and the Mighty Clouds of Joy, Dixie Hummingbirds. The list goes on. When it comes to groups, we wasn't much into choirs, but the group thing was like the household music.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
so that I knew in high school I wanted to start that when I left, and that's what ended up happening. It kind of birthed in me. I graduated in 2002, 2003. I was starting a band.
Mhm.
And even some of the guys, like one of the guys on here now, remember when he was a teenager and we was out, and now he's in the group.
Okay. Okay. Is the which one is it on here now?
Levi, yeah, he's
Levi.
the
Okay.
runner.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gerald. I mean, go ahead.
No,
Sure.
I was gonna say because it's really good when you're looking at something, you're getting gospel, you're getting soul, you're getting funk, you're getting all of that. But outside of that, it's not like you're just listening to a lead singer and you're listening to BGVs, but you're getting something from every single person. So it's like
Yeah.
you get that richness, that full song, that full body song. You're getting that, and I think for me, for a long time, it was like maybe whether folks didn't truly appreciate that because you mentioned about full circle moment or
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
something becoming hip, like hey, everyone is thinking this is cool. Let's run this back, but just talk a little bit about just staying the course because you guys have been doing this for quite a while. And I'm sure there's moments in between when you're like, hey, maybe folks is probably not catching this on, maybe this, maybe that, but just start to still staying the course and continuing to do it. And now you're, on the eve of releasing something else right now that in this particular season and when you're about to drop this, it seems like it's more accepted, but just that in between feeling, like, what was that like? And continuing to still show up and do what you're doing as a band.
I'm
Mhm.
gonna let
And
Brian
yeah,
expound on that.
Say again.
I said I'm gonna let Brian expound on it.
just start to
All right.
steady in the course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, staying the course. It has not always been a easy journey,
Mm-hmm.
and in this industry, it is not an easy industry to be in. It is something that you have to deal with a whole lot of different types of opinion, and sometimes it'll seem like it just isn't working. It'll seem like you've been doing it too long. It'll seem like you have invested so much and have not yet begun to reap any type of return.
Yeah.
Notice what I said. It will seem that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm
But
tracking.
sometimes when you know what God has called you to do, it's about knowing where God has put you and knowing what God has set you out to do.
Mhm.
And when he has given you a talent or a gift in your hand, he expects a return on it.
Oh.
He expects,
Mm,
Oh. Oh.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He he
Yeah.
he he expects a return on it, meaning that just because it didn't do things when you wanted it to happen, doesn't mean you go and bury it like the one did he gave the one talent to.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, because it was that person that came and brought what God gave him back, and God called him a slothful person. Like you
Mm,
you didn't you
Mm.
didn't try to do nothing with what I gave you because it didn't happen when you wanted it to happen, because it
yeah.
didn't sprout like you wanted it to sprout. So staying the course, there were times where we were on the road throughout the life of Sincere or the career of Sincere. There were times where we have had to encourage each other. It
Mm,
Mhm.
doesn't. There were times where we were down. There were times that James, as the leader, he didn't think that, well, maybe, just maybe, maybe we need to find another route. But when you have a good team with you, you have a good group of people with you that's on the
mm-hmm.
same page, that you can encourage each other. Sometimes you need somebody to encourage you to keep pushing and keep moving.
Mhm.
That this
Mhm.
is not the end all be all. And
Yeah.
I thank God that we have gotten through those moments, because sometimes we move out of turn and we miss the blessing of God just because it don't happen when
Mm,
we want it to happen. We'll get out of line will get out of place, and that place that you were in was headed to the right direction, but because you moved. So it's important that you stay the course, no matter what it feels like.
Wow.
Number one, know where you know who you are, know what you're here for, know that God called you to do it. And once you know that, even though it doesn't look like it, it's like the old preacher says, you have to trust him even when you can't trace him. You
Come on, man.
you gotta know that he told you, if he promised that it was gonna happen, if he gave it to you, although it tarries, you gotta wait. You gotta hold on to it because it belongs to you. Now, the only way we can forfeit that is us. We forfeit it by getting out of the line, getting out of the way. So stay the course. I encourage anybody who's watching, who's listening,
Wow.
stay the course. If God told you to do it, I don't care how hard it looks like. I don't care how hard it gets. Stay on it. Stay on it. Stay on it. I can't say it enough. Stay on it.
Patrice, go ahead, Patrice. I know you're
First of all, no, I want
ready.
to ask him his cash app because this deserves an offering. I can give you this. That's all I can give you. That's all I can give you, sir.
I need some organs, man. That's not even a hand clap was to do.
It's dollar sign
I got a couple of these. This is what I got. I got as many of these as I can use. Can I tell you, you have no idea how you just blessed me and blessed everybody that's probably listening. And you at the same time, you still encourage each one of us on here, including Gerald. I'm looking at him giving an affirmative. I'm looking at Daryl. I'm looking at Levi, looking at James, because it was one point where you said, if you get out of line, that would have also meant if you get out of line that God is going to have somebody else to still carry that baton, because that baton is supposed to be carried.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just given to you to carry, and if you decide you're not going to do it, it's just going to, the race is over. He's like, okay, I got somebody else to pick this up because you refused to carry it, and I had a blessing for you, and you were that close. So back to Sherwin's point. 20 years is a long time.
Absolutely.
James, 20 years is a long time. And as an independent who's on the cutting edge of a sound that's never been heard in gospel music, you're coming in with an element of instrumental expertise and the way that the band just operates, the look of it, the sound of it. If you don't know the opening of a Sincere song that's coming out with the horns, I don't know where you've been. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because the horns, okay? I know my stuff now. I know.
And the guy responsible for that is Daryl Everett.
Okay? Daryl, let me tell you something.
Salute, Daryl.
You got oil on you, my brother. You got oil on you. Okay? So, but it also takes the right person and the right team member to come alongside you and say, I see something in you. And I've got to shift it now to the man with the pen who has killed probably many a career, but in himself, Daryl, the only one and only, Gerald Jones from The Gospel Truth. Gerald, this has been a journey.
Oh, I wanted to not correct everyone. It's not past tense. It still is a journey. We still have hard times. We have hard times every day, every week. This is, besides a ministry, it is a friendship. It is a brotherhood. It is a business. Like the 8, 9, 10 of us, sometimes the number fluctuates. We're like in a marriage. We are locked in. And anybody who's married or in relationships know that every day isn't perfect. Every day isn't la la la, as the song.
Exactly.
No, I saw it too. I heard it.
Keep going.
Every day is not fun. James encourages me sometimes. You saw it, Brian. I was holding back tears over here. Like we literally encourage each other when we're down. I would not get through this without James. I think probably say the same thing, and I can say the same for the rest of the members as well. Everybody brings something different to the table, which is why Sincere has managed to still stay together. 20 years later, yes, the makeup changes. Yes, there are new faces. Yes, there are faces that come back or interchangeable. People come and go. But at the end of the day, like Brian said, if God has called you to do something, and if there is something that He put down deep in your heart, and you know He gave you that dream, that mission, that goal, then you do it until He says stop. And
That's
that's
it.
that. And I tell James all the time, I'm here because it's more than just I love Sincere and I love their sound and stuff like that. Has I feel like I feel like Sincere is an assignment for me, and I also feel like Sincere has come into my life to teach me many, many lessons as well. Um, I want to say that I'm super, super proud of them. We don't talk all the time, the 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 overall group members, but me and James talk more on a daily basis. But when I do talk to them, they know, besides their manager, I'm a fan. I'm a true fan of Sincere. I'm not just their manager. I love what they do. I critique them just like I listen to anybody else's music that I listen to on a daily basis. And I tell them I don't want anything less. I don't want you to give me anything less than what I'm hearing from Erica Campbell or Mary or, Kirk or, I don't, why should I expect any less from you guys? And I know they're on that caliber. I know where God is taking us. I know what God has entrusted with all of the members, especially with James as well. But they work hard. The guys work hard. They have families. They have kids. They have, we all have financial struggles. We all have issues. We all have problems. We're independent. So everything we do is out of our pockets. We don't have anybody helping us. We don't have anybody paying for anything on the road. We don't have anybody paying for studio time. We pay for everything. And when you have other responsibilities outside of that, as a wife and kids and all of these other things, and you add this component into it, that that shows real dedication. That shows real love, real ministry, real a real relationship and honor to God being in this group. And so I'm super proud of them. And James didn't say this, Sherwin, at the top, but this single really was not supposed to be. We were actually wrapping up the album. We were wrapping up the album. We were finished. We were actually going to release a completely different single with a completely different sound.
Wow.
And truth be told, we just did not get the response that we thought we were going to get as we started to let a few people hear it. And me and James go back and forth sometimes. James, those are his babies. So and also we wrote that other song together too, that one that we were pitching. But I kind of can separate myself a little bit more. But for James, these are very personal. So when you hear people say, I don't know if I don't know, I may like it, but I don't know if the listeners are gonna like it, or I don't think this is it. And because we've been doing it for 20 years, because we hear no all the time, sometimes you do have to check yourself or humble yourself and be like, okay, maybe we should listen. Maybe we should go back. So I told James, I said, we need to listen. I said, don't take it personal. It doesn't mean that the song isn't good. It's just not right for where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do. And they know me. 20 years in the game, I don't want to waste any more time. Time,
Absolutely.
you can get a lot of things back, but you cannot get your time back.
Facts.
And I want each one of
Facts.
these members to stay motivated and to stay connected and to keep their head in the game. And if I can help us from making pitfalls, I want to do that. So long story short, we went back and I said, James, you got to give me a hit. And I said, I need a bona fide certified hit. and he knows. I don't settle until I hear it. And
Yeah.
when he played me another song that I thought was going to be the single because it was that good. I
Mm.
was like, okay, this is the pinnacle. I said, he's reached the top. I said, this is it. And he said, I think I got another one in me. And I said, well, is it better than this one? He said, Gerald, I think it is. And I said, okay. I said, I'm gonna trust you. And that's where this song was birthed from. So in all actuality, this song really didn't take a long time. I would say
Mm.
James came up with it within a week and a half. We wrote
Mhm.
the lyrics in a day maybe, and then they went and recorded it. But you just know when you know. When you know, you know.
I'm
And
with it.
I knew as soon as I heard that, I said, oh, we got one. I said, we got one.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm just thankful because you know they record a lot. They were done with the album, like I said. I said y'all got to go back in the studio. Nobody complains if they did. I didn't hear it, but they do what needs to be done,
Love it.
and I think this just shows, um, you know, don't get the big head. Humble yourself.
Mhm.
You don't always get it right. Sometimes you got to go back 3 or 4 times until you get it right. But when you get it right, it pays off. And I just know my conversations with God and what the Holy Spirit has told me, I just know that this song is going to take us in, just a new direction, a new level for Sincere, which I'm really excited about. It's a great song. I think it's
Mhm.
great for the summer. It has a great message. Look everywhere around you and you will see God. It's really that
Yeah.
simple. I think sometimes we forget about the simple things. And
Mm.
Yeah.
God is in all of those things. When you walk outside and you feel a breeze, that's that's because of God.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
take a lot of those things for granted. When a person smiles, or when you smile at someone and you may change their day, that's the God in you reflecting onto that person. So
Yeah.
that's really what that song is about. It's just really looking all around you and really noticing God in everything. And so that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna shut up, but I want everybody to go out tonight at 12 p.m. Download the single "That's God." La la la. The video is coming soon. We're really excited. I'm excited for them. This will
Yeah.
probably be the last time people see me for a long for a long time with them.
The fact that I was able to talk to you wanted to be in here. Listen, I won't ask you. I won't ask you for nothing for 10 years.
Listen, and that's blood. If people don't know, that's my cousin. That's like my real cousin, like blood. So, but
Nobody
I
knew
would
that.
I would
Nobody knew that. We kept this a secret for years.
listen. The cat is out the bag now. But I really am. I just want to say I want to say it publicly that I'm proud of every member of Sincere that's on this live right now, and the members that are not on the live, they have worked really hard. We have a great album coming, and but before the album, just get into the single because y'all about to hear it a lot.
Oh my goodness. My goodness.
Listen,
My goodness.
listen. That
Go ahead,
I
Cheryl.
No, no, I was gonna say Lee. I see Levi talking about smiling. Yeah, I see Levi there smiling. Levi, I'm gonna kick this to you. I'm gonna hand you the proverbial mic. Talk a little bit about how excited you are about this single, the process. I know just now you mentioned the video is coming. Like, what was your approach in this and sort of going through this process for this new single that's coming out at midnight?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. I want to say that I'm one of the newer members of Sincere. Pardon me. Excuse me. I'm one of the newer members of Sincere. And any interview that we have, I love to share that I was a fan of Sincere before I actually joined the group. And even being in the group now, I'm still a fan of the group. I'm a fan of the sound. I'm a fan of the message, and I'm even more a fan of the men and brothers that I have. We've all been friends for years. Me and Dow went to college together.
Mm.
Me and James has been friends for over a decade. Me and Brian. I mean, I could go on down the line. All of the various members. I think there's maybe one that he's a little Johnny come lately, and he just came into my life, and I love him the same. But for the rest of us, we've been around for a very long time. Even though I've just joined the group, this year will make 3 years for me.
Oh wow. Okay.
And yeah, 3 years for me. And so this we've been working on this album for a while. And I appreciate James as a leader because basically completed the album a while ago, and God told him to go in a different direction, a different sound, a different message for what the people of God needed. And I appreciated the fact that he was obedient, and he listened to the Lord, and he didn't allow it to be a situation where, okay, well, I'm just going to put this out because we done worked hard. It's not about
Mm.
it's not about it's not about the time that you put in. It's about being obedient to what the Holy Spirit tells you to do. And
Come
as a
on.
leader, I couldn't do nothing but respect that.
Mm.
I didn't think about the times where I left my kids, or late at night to be in the studio and all that. That was fun, but at the end of the day, no, you still got to do what God said do. Or leaving work early to be at the studio. No, you got to do what God say do. So
Mm.
the fact that we were able to come up with this single after all of this time, and it literally um, it expresses, like Joe said, everything that God really is to
Yes.
us, and what He is for us, and that's what makes it personal for me because
Mm.
in this time, so many different agendas, so many different. So the world is so corrupt with the with and then we're majoring so much in the minor
Yeah.
instead of
Mm.
majoring in the major. God is amazing. God is
Yes.
faithful. Even in the and literally when I recorded this song, and I'm trying not to get choked up, but it's real because I had
Yes.
just lost my grandfather,
Mm.
and talking about what God is to me. He's my savior. He's my redeemer. He's my strong tower. He's my leaning post when I'm down and I and can't call nobody. That's what I could call on Jesus
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
late
Yeah.
in the midnight hour.
Mm.
His line is never too busy to come see about me. And so this
Yes.
song really is personal. Um, I'm just glad that I'm able to share this with my brothers, that I'm able to share this moment. I'm excited that Gerald is on tonight. Um, being Gerald, I can laugh now. He's very special to me, and I pray that I'm special to him. We have a very unique relationship. We have a very unique relationship. But that's my brother. I love him, and I'm so glad that he's on tonight to share his wisdom, to share his experience, to share his knowledge with everybody. And I thank you all for this time to share and to speak. And I want everybody, I love each and every last one of you, everybody who's watching. Thank you for supporting Sincere over the years. Even before me, the shirts, the concerts, all of the different things, the road trips, the concerts, the recordings, everything. It's all got us to this point. And this is only the tip of the iceberg of what God has for us. But it's about being obedient. And that's the reason why I say again, I thank God for our leader James. He ain't perfect, but he has he's almost like when David say what he say that when God say that he's a man after thine own heart, like
Hmm.
he really has a relationship with God for real.
Yeah.
And when God tells him to do something, he does it. And so we don't have to worry about throwing him overboard because of disobedience, because we're going in the right direction.
Come
So I thank
on.
God.
Listen. Wait a minute. We're not going down with the ship. We're not going down with the
Ooh.
ship.
That's right.
Patrice. Patrice, I mean, listen, all I'm getting, and we gotta hear from Daryl next. I know Patrice, you're gonna give us a little a little 15-second snippet, but
Oh
before
no,
we even
we're gonna
get
make the
there,
people wait. We're gonna make the people wait.
yeah, yeah,
No,
it's not an hour yet. We good. We're still
oh,
good.
we good.
But
Hmm.
we're gonna hear from Daryl. But it brings me so much joy just to see brotherhood and just the love and the unity. Like I'm here and I'm like I'm getting choked up because I'm like, this is such a beautiful thing, man. Like it's just something that is just beautiful about brothers that is just coming together, and you can tell they're all believers. They're all just, you give Brian the mic just now, and Brian was ready to just, run out there preaching. We kick it to Levi that was just chilling in the cut, and he's gonna hit you with that good word and that good analogy. I mean, everyone that is speaking, man, I'm just like truly just sitting here, just ready to just listen. I don't even want to ask a question or nothing. I just want to let you guys just go, just talk, listen, just do your thing, man.
Well, I gotta hear from the horn section. We gotta hear from the horn section.
We gotta get a
So
horn song.
listen, the
Go ahead,
horn is
get a
up.
horn
You
song.
are you
Man,
are up to you. Look, I'm gonna solo you out, bro. There you go. Let's give the horn something on tonight.
You gotta play, you
understand.
gotta do something.
Sincere, the brotherhood, man. I don't want to this single right here, y'all. Wait till they play this thing for y'all, man. I'm ready to I'm ready to la my life away right now. Y'all understand? Uh,
Yeah,
that's God, man. When I needed something from God, He told me, "Go do what I told you to do,"
Mm.
because I was obviously doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing.
ah,
I was out of wheel. I was out of line. And as clear as day, God says, "Go back." I knew exactly what He was talking about. He didn't have to give me a subject. He didn't have to give me nothing to work with. He said, "Go back." And when things come along, you got those people that talk to you about, man, it's been this long, it's been that, man, what's going on with this? And you can go and to them and say, God told me go back.
Mm.
There's no other reason. Even when how Gerald was saying, man, sometimes we have those days where things change and this goes up and that goes down. I can just count on God saying, go back. Do what I told you to do. And you won't have any of this to worry about. Don't worry about what they gotta say. They gotta say, who is they?
that's right.
Wow.
Who is they? I don't have time for it. But this going on, but that going on. Hey, look, sir, I got a whole nother reason to be here. I love every last one of my brothers. Levi, James, Gerald, and the iconic Brian Williams. You understand?
Iconic. Come on.
Iconic.
Listen,
I'll
My
always
brother
get him
right
with
there,
that.
man.
Always get him with that,
okay.
right?
ISO,
This is
ISO,
wait. This is what an icon looks
ISO,
like. This is
ISO,
what an
Brian,
icon
ISO,
looks
ISO.
like, baby.
Look, y'all.
This is
Listen,
what an
man.
icon looks
Don't do it to
We
me.
we meet up in the airport and we do a whole scene like we ain't never seen Brian in my life. I say,
like.
"Oh my
This
God,
guy.
I cannot believe it! It is you!"
So it just be making me shame out in public.
Wow.
Wait till y'all hear
That's my
Brian on
brother
this
there.
song, man. Wait till y'all hear Brian on this song. Levi,
Mhm.
the honor I have to perform next to these fellas, to
I'm trying to
perform
get my
such
finger.
great composed music by James J. Dub Wright, Dr. James J. Dub Wright, and Gerald Jones. Y'all understand? It's not just a brotherhood; it's an honor.
Mm.
And you know, you guys get to hear me first on a lot of the songs, so I'm having a good time. Get a
Listen,
horn
it's
player
the
song.
horns. It's the horns. It's the
Get
horns.
a
It's always
horn
been the
sound.
horns. It's always been the
Leading
horns.
out, leading out.
Yeah,
Yep.
Daryl,
yeah,
Daryl,
that's
Daryl, I want you to know that everything is said or done. the word says that the trumpet will sound,
What?
and the dead
Wait.
in Christ shall rise first.
Oh, you better.
Come on.
You. Oh.
Let them ride. I say let them ride.
We walking
We
in
going
the.
up.
We
We
walking
going up
in
now.
We're going up. Let me put my hat on good.
Oh
Hey,
my
can
my.
I can I say this though? Can I say this? Daryl is one because there's other horn players that be with him, especially if we do major shows. Daryl is when I tell you, my wife does the choreography for the group because the group also dance on stage and do all that. You guys know that. Um, when I tell you, Daryl is like the best dancer out of everybody in the band,
Cut that out.
and I mean, he be cutting
I
up.
wasn't cut
And
that out.
when we get off the stage, people are like, "Did y'all see Big Boy up there getting down?" I'll be like, "Yep, that's down again. That's down." But
Getting
down,
it.
You ain't
down
never seen a
plays
big
that
boy get on the
horn.
roof.
Down plays that horn with precision
Mhm,
and while dancing, and that's a hard task. You
mhm.
know, you're blowing from your core,
Yeah.
and then you're also doing all of the. He don't skip the dance moves. He do them
Mm.
all, every single step. So as some of us, even if one of us are leading a song, I never lead, but when they're leading or whatever, skip dance moves or whatever. Daryl, while he's playing the trumpet, he's doing the same steps, and so yeah, it's and keeping that sound that you all love to hear.
Listen. Shout out for the
Man.
Absolutely.
cardio. Shout out for the cardio.
You know it. That's all it is.
That's all. It's pure cardio. It's pure
Right.
cardio.
Yeah.
Now, now I want to say we were talking so much about obedience earlier. We were talking about being in the right position at the right time, and so I want to toss this because something just dropped in my spirit. I'm not sure what it was, but
Oh
James,
boy.
you just made a valuable point about that you don't lead songs. I believe that God is calling you higher, son. In this season,
That was gas.
in
That
this
wasn't me,
season,
Spirit. That's
in this,
gas.
In this
See how
in
season,
he
this,
lobbied that over
in,
there.
Hey,
He just lobbied that over there so
we
You
was
heard
nicely.
it
just
here
ready
first.
for it.
You heard it here
I,
But
first.
I
we
told
was
him,
gonna put
son,
you out there anyway.
son, that's gas.
listen,
That ain't the Lord. That's
Be
gas.
obedient.
listen,
Be
in
obedient,
this
James.
season, no, but for real, a lot of people don't know. James can really, really sing. For real, he be playing around, but
Oh yeah.
James can really sing. So just so y'all know, like James can sing for real. Don't let him hide behind the guitar. And when I first got in the band, he called himself going to retire from singing. Every time we got on stage, I'll put a mic right in his face for no reason. No, you're gonna sing tonight, and you're gonna love it. Smile. Make sure you smile.
Oh my God.
I can't even fault you. That was a sweet lobby. I like the way you did that. That was smooth. That was smooth.
Thank you so much.
Gerald,
That
like
was
I
Thank
said,
you
smooth.
so much.
you got your work cut out for you here, man. You got a bunch of comedians here, man.
Listen, when they are
Yeah.
on the road, you already. I don't even have to say anything. You know it's not a dull moment. A bunch of guys together on the road. I mean, listen,
Oh my God. Have a
I
ball.
love
it's
it. I love it,
nonstop,
man.
nonstop.
Uh,
Right.
Well, I'm going to
Yeah.
come back to the gospel truth for a minute. And this is industry talking. This ain't family. This is industry talking. So my first time, said it to them before you came on. My first time being introduced to Sincere is on a little project that had a little thumbprint on it. I have the original CD, but I want people to see this. If you don't have this project, I want to know. This was Independent Spirit, I think the volume one. That introduced so many independent artists to in a sphere where people didn't know them. The quality of that project and the curation of the artistry that you put on that project was absolutely exceptional, Gerald. It really was exceptional. And so when you look back at, I mentioned them like the first time it says, if it had not been, which is the single that they did, to the progression over those, these several years to this point, it has not gone down. They continue to go higher and higher and higher. Like the more they pour out, the more God pours in. The more they pour out, the more God pours in. So
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, with the release of this brand new single, That's God, I got to get that la 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 in there. I love it. Um, what really is the trajectory? Where do you see Sincere really going at this point once this thing releases?
Um, well, what I've always envisioned and seen in my mind and what God has showed me. Um, we all know gospel music can be a little behind, maybe sometimes a little antiquated, and it takes us a minute to catch up.
Mhm.
Gospel had never really seen anything like Sincere before. I don't know of a gospel soul
Mm-mm.
band. We had the Soul Seekers, but still, Sincere sound was a little bit different. Their look was completely different, and one of the things I always encourage, and not encourage, but kind of nudge, and then just say, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Um, you can't have 8 to 9 to 10 people on stage and you all just stand around and sing. You all, even though it's ministry, it's also entertainment. You have to give a performance. We want to see you all move. When you think of Earth, Wind, and Fire, when you think of Frankie Beverly and Maze, all those bands, they dance, they give you a show, they give you a performance. And so with Sincere, you're going to get ministry, you're going to get a show, you're going to get great vocals, you're going to get high energetic, high energy songs that you won't want to sit down. And so I don't think there's anything like that in gospel. But sometimes you have to blaze your own trail, and sometimes that is the hardest thing to do. And it can also take a lot longer because it's something different, or it's something that people aren't familiar with. So I'm hoping that with this new single that it will just further cement who Sincere is, what they do, what they bring to the table. And I really am excited, not just about the single, but also about the album that's going to drop next year. um, it's been a lot of work, but the sound is different than anything that's been in gospel to me. We have some great features coming up. The guys are singing their face off. The arrangements are crazy. And I think people also just fail to remember Sincere is not, they're not just singers. They are musicians. They are
Mhm.
a band. You have horns, you have a trumpet, you have a sax, you have bass. You have everything. And so, I'm just excited about all of the possibilities. And I do believe this song, um, like I said, is going to, really penetrate people's hearts, but also their ears. Um, I think it's a fun song. I think it feels good. I think it really it's simple. It's a simple message, but it's something that everyone can gravitate to. And of course, I mean, I want people to download and buy as many copies as they can because I need a nice little publishing check. So that always
Come,
helps.
come on here. Come on here.
And
Come on here,
and that
ask.
we all want the publishing checks. Okay, we all sharing those things. But yeah, I know what I saw when I first came on board with Sincere, and my vision and what I see for them is no different today.
Mhm.
Um, and like I said, things don't always pan out the way we want to. Songs that we think, oh yes, they're automatically gonna hit. They don't always hit for one reason or another. And just like I think we've all said tonight, you just have to keep going. You have to keep pushing through. There are going to be days when you want to quit. I have those days every other day. I don't even share them half
Mhm.
the time.
Mhm.
But that's par for the course. That's ministry in general. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Absolutely.
If this
Okay.
was
Facts.
easy, everybody would be an artist. And I know it feels like everybody wants to be an artist, or there's a new song that comes out, or this person has just came out. But to really do it, and to really do it at the level to compete with your counterparts that do have major label deals and that do have that advance or backing behind them. To do that on your own, that takes guts, it takes discipline, it takes heart, It takes tenacity, determination.
Doing it
Um,
afraid. Doing it
yeah,
afraid.
doing it afraid. It's not. No, it's not for punks. I mean, this is a hard. This is hard. And people
Absolutely.
think, oh, automatically because it's gospel and Jesus is in it. That for some reason it's seemingly harder
It's the
when
worst.
when
Mm-hmm.
you have
Absolutely.
when you have that element in it. And I don't know if it's God just pruning us and just really getting us ready, mind, body, and soul at times. But you can never see it in the moment. It's something that you always look back on and you're like, oh, okay, God, I get it now. I
Yeah.
get why this had to happen or why it didn't happen at this time. But you can never quite see it in the moment. It's something that you look back at and say, okay, now I get it. And so me and James have this conversation all the time, and I'm like, I said, okay, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think there are times when we can't see the light,
Mm-hmm.
where you're really just walking in the dark and you're really trusting God by faith. This industry will eat you up, it will chew you out, it will discourage you, it will have you wondering what happened or why it didn't happen. And I would just encourage anyone to that's when you talk to God. That's when you really get on your knees and you really say, okay, God, did you really give this to me? Is this what you
Mm-hmm.
really want me to do? And sometimes, these are dreams that we have that God has implanted in us. So
Yeah.
these dreams are supposed to be realized. We're supposed to see them come to fruition, and they don't always look how we think they're going to look, and they don't always manifest in the way we think they're going to manifest. And you don't know how this puzzle piece is going to connect to that other puzzle piece. But when
Mm-hmm.
God is in it, it always works out the way it's supposed to. And the older I get, I tell James all the time. I'm like, well, if God opens the door, fine. If he closes the door, then there's another avenue. And that's it.
Yeah, I
Like,
That's
think
right.
we can
I
be
think
mad and we can stress about it, but that's not going to change anything. So I just ask for God to open or close the door. And as I said before, sometimes we can't see it. Sometimes we don't know why that door isn't opened or you know, why that artist didn't say yes to the feature. And we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. But again, I think everything works out the way they're supposed to work out in God's timing. And again, I'm just super excited for the guys. I'm super proud of the guys. I don't care who says it, but we got to make sure we shout out the other members of Sincere as well that are not on this Zoom. But I want to make sure their names are said, because it's not just these four.
Mm-hmm.
There's
right.
more, as you all see on stage
Absolutely.
when you see
Yeah.
Sincere. So
Oh yeah.
I'll let the guys, finish that off, but make sure everybody go get that single that's got La 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 at 12 p.m. tonight. Don't just stream it, download it, and enjoy it, share it. Let us know what you think of it. We want to know if you like it, if you don't like it, why you like it, why you don't like it. We want to hear it all. So please
Hmm.
make sure you go out and support tonight.
Absolutely.
All
Love
right.
it,
So
love
James,
it, love it.
so let's go ahead and give a shout out to the members who are not on here live tonight. So let's just go ahead and call the roll, my brother.
Oh yeah, you got Brazen. He plays drums and keys with us. And then you have Trey. He's the keyboard player with us. Tim is our music director, Timothy Wimberly. And Micah, he's actually the other vocalist that's on the stage doing the moves and singing the
Mm.
backgrounds with us. So we have a pretty cool squad. And then the team is excellent too. My wife with the choreography, Stephanie, she handles just all things business with us.
Our publicist Pam,
Pam, yeah,
um,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
and I want to say this too, really quick. These people in our organization who work with us, who help us, they don't get anything. They
right.
do it because they see the vision, they see what God has placed in everyone, and they do it because they just want to help. They say we love you guys and we want to see you guys succeed.
Yeah.
And so shout out to our whole team and our publicist and everybody. Like, people have no idea what goes on
Absolutely.
behind the scenes and how we make things work. Sometimes by by just this,
Right.
this much things
Mm.
happen, but it works out every time, and it's not because of who you see. It is a literal group effort of a
Hmm.
full team
Behind the scene.
of making things work.
I, I, I love that. And Patrice, I'll hand it back to you because I know you're probably about to
Oh no,
play
no,
the.
no.
But I was
I'm
gonna
just
ask.
vibing. I'm just vibing.
I was gonna say. I mean, Gerald mentioned just now. It's just from, you mentioned all the different components, but for me as well too is longevity, right? Because sometimes, like, I'm not sure if you've seen, there's like this meme that is on social media and all over, where you see like a guy is underground and he has a pickaxe and he's like
Yeah.
chiseling through, and all of the gold and the jewels is right behind, and he kept doing it up until this point, and then he stops and he just walks away, and then someone else kind of walks in and just did one hit, and then boom, everything is right there. See, sometimes you just get just but so close. But the fact that you guys have been doing this 20 plus years and you're going and going and going,
Yeah.
is like,
Okay.
you're there and you're going, is like you can't stop. You can't stop. You got to keep going because there's just so much more that is there right around the corner. And it's like, why would you want to stop after you've gotten up until this point? So even commending you guys throughout everything else, that you're still showing up. You're still showing up for your fans, for your family, showing up for God. You're still showing up for yourself, and you were just still bringing us that funky soulful gospel that we didn't even know if we should dance to it when we first hear it. Should we clap our hands? What's the moves? But
Well,
shout out to the choreography. I mean, I can't do all that. I'm just gonna just kind of like, sway a bit, but you guys are out here doing it,
well,
man. I
well,
salute each and every one of you, man. I
well,
mean, that's
sir.
that's my part to say.
Well, sir, I'm gonna say this very quickly, and I wasn't gonna say anything about this because we've been on for an hour.
Nah, nah,
Oh,
we
you're
Um,
good. This is
we
your
we
night.
can
This
go. We
we
can go.
dedicate this night to you guys. So
but
this is your night.
but I, you opened the door when you said something about that meme, because we've put that meme in our group chat numerous times. But
Mm,
now I wasn't going to share this, but I think somebody out there needs to hear a little bit of our story. Literally during the pandemic, I lost almost every group member except some of the core. I even lost
mm,
one of our lead singers. Um, and this
Hmm.
was the time that I talked to Brian and Gerald. This was before Levi agreed to come too, because originally when I was going through that patch, it wasn't Levi's time to be with us then either. So it didn't pan out. Um, but that thing broke me down to the core. Like I talked to Gerald and I said, Gerald, this they may not get no more albums. I just want to put whatever we recorded out because we had
Mm,
some we had a Philadelphia legend on the album. Thaddeus Tribbett played bass. I went and got like a dream team
mhm,
band. So Thaddeus Tribbett played bass on that album that Levi was talking about that I put
mhm,
on the shelf for a little bit. uh Marcus Hodge, the great producer with Tyrese and all them, he played keyboard. V Keys played keys. Um, and then we had that full horn section. We don't never need to go and get another horn section. Our horn section is always A1. And after that album, I said, this is probably it. And I started
mm,
kind of talking to, Daryl, who's on. That's like one of my right hand dudes. Him and Brian. Brian is the godfather of my kids,
mm,
and then Gerald. He's a big brother slash best friend also. And so I was like, man, you know, this could be over,
mm.
because it was just us
Wow.
sitting there.
mm,
And so I was like, man, I
Yep,
don't think I
that
have
was
it
it.
in me. I don't think I have it in me to rebuild, you know,
Mm,
this. Like I'm almost 40 at the time. I'm
yeah.
41 now. I was like, man, I'm almost 40. And I know that's young still, but it's like after you've been doing it 20 years, you say to yourself, okay, is this a new You know, do I have to go to a new chapter now? Do I move out of my city and go and just pursue production only?
Mm,
Mhm.
You know, and so I look at that when you said that meme, this song, That's God, would have never happened if I would have just let go
Mm.
wow.
of the group. And all the
Mm.
accomplishments, you know, if God see fit to give this song a Grammy, give this song a Stellar Award, all of that would have never happened if I would have
Wow.
just said, all right, that's it, I'm done.
Mm,
So, you know,
Wow.
I had to, you know, share that story with you guys because
wow.
that, you know, being in a group, you're dealing with multiple. I praise God for these guys too, man, because you know when you have a bunch of different people and you got a bunch of different alpha males. I have nobody in this band who don't run their household, who don't run their businesses, who don't run like it's set up like how God set it up in each one of these guys' house, and they take, they protect, they lead their wives. Some of them who are married, they protect, they provide. You
Yeah.
know, they do everything that they got to do, and so that's what I mean by running their household. You
Yeah.
know, no
Yeah.
no
Mhm.
controlling type of stuff. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
um, so to come up against guys like that, and I say against because sometimes, you know, I got to tell them like, look, this is what we are doing, and for them to, you know, say, hey Jay, you my leader, and we gonna follow. We just expect you to still stay on the path of God. Just let God lead you, and we'll go ahead and follow. You know,
Mhm.
um, that's what even really with old members have kind of just dismantled the group. When you got a bunch of alpha males together, everybody has their way of doing things.
Hmm.
Some people who've never been in the music business and want to tell me and Gerald how to do it.
Mhm.
And that
Mhm.
gets tricky in itself because we've been doing it 20 years and we've had success on other sides of it. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So we try to tell, you know, our camp that look, we got to apply this pressure right here and we got to do it right here. And that's not always easy when you have a bunch of guys who are providers and their family first, because sometimes this takes out of our household, you know, and they have to make a decision between a McChicken sandwich because that's all they got, and going and paying dues for this single and things to come, you know, for it to pan out
Mhm.
well and come out.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And every one of these guys have made that decision to do so, but that's not been a easy
Easy.
situation. And some
Yeah.
guys that were with me before couldn't withstand that. You know, it was
Mhm.
just, you know, hey, call me when you get the investor. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
can do it. Jay, you're an awesome guy. I can do it, but I need the money. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that kind of, you know, used to tear me up because my heart, I'm a musician. I want everybody to get paid in my camp. I want everybody to be financially stable without even have to go to a night, because these guys are tremendously talented. They don't even understand. Had we been in another state, none of them would probably be working any type of day job. They would have health insurance through the union.
Mhm.
Y'all know
Mhm.
what the musicians union is.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, they would have all the benefits and they would have all, because they would be on major projects. So these guys, that statement you made just came right into what we went through, you know, because this
Mm,
group was down to, you know, a
yeah.
few
Nothing.
guys.
Wow.
Yeah, it was down
Mm.
to, and singing wise, it was
Wow.
down to just Brian and me and Brian looking at each other. I'm like, Brian, I I don't know who gonna help you out, but
Listen,
you know,
Okay.
you know what I told him. I said, well, give me the mic and let's go, because we singing. Give me the
Try the
mic
and
book.
and
then
let's go.
and then we got Levi. Then it was just them two on stage, you know, and that's, everybody knows that's not Sincere's way. And both of them, they over there trying to do doo-wop twins and stuff. I'm like, oh boy,
Not
Lord
do
help
all
us. And
that.
then I got Gerald calling me, just say, that's not it. You
That
better
ain't it.
you better, you better get
Gerald
another
gonna
singer
tell
on
you the
that
truth.
stage.
Gerald gonna tell you the truth, whether you like it or
he
not.
said he seen that. We was in Atlanta at the City Winery, and he saw some of that stuff because Sincere has a pretty large fan base. So
Yeah.
we've been blessed to do the City Winery and all that different kind of stuff. And you know, the radio station was there, the great radio station you were talking about. And boy, Joe was like, no, sir. We can't
Someone
be
is
doing this
cracking up
like
says
they
you up
BB and
with.
CC up there.
Oh no, no. Okay, that was wrong. I'm sorry. That was wrong.
No, you good, you good. Say
Oh
it, say
man,
it, say it.
y'all
We
hilarious.
deal with Gerald, so we know
Not
how you
BB
are.
and CC. This is so okay. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. I'm trying to get in my head.
No, so it was just, it was that was a real trying time for us, and it was hard. I didn't have a band, I didn't have nobody. But actually these two guys that's on the line right now, because horn section, everybody, they just wanted to go a different direction, and some of it wasn't even an altercation, and it wasn't anything that happened. I think the pandemic showed people that they had to get it on their own because our gigs stopped, and
Mhm.
this was one particular year that I actually felt like when the pandemic came, Gerald and we had Jody booking us and everything, and y'all know Jody, Lone Oak Entertainment, that was a major booking arm in the gospel industry,
Mhm.
and we were getting calls. We got like 3 or 4 calls that year, gigs coming, but they were paying a substantial amount
Mhm.
that would help us get the ball rolling on projects and everything, and all of a sudden the world stopped, you know
Mm,
and then when the world stopped, we stopped. There's no gigs. My lack of knowledge in the music industry, on because I'd never been through a pandemic while being in the music industry,
mhm,
we didn't keep things going. We did one pandemic concert, and it was over 1,000 people on that live, but we didn't keep stuff like that going, and so we kind of just said, okay, everybody pause, y'all do what you got to do. There was no gigs, there was no nothing. Those guys had to work and had to find ways of making money,
Mhm.
that was just different. And so, you know, through this break, some of them realized, hey, we have to. I'm taking another route. Our other lead singer with Brian, he's been on every record since the first record. We go out now and we hear, is Dwayne still here? That was, that was his guy on the side, and he even had to move away. So everything was a little different, but that meme hit me to the core, man, when you were talking about it,
mm.
because that's literally what we just went through.
Wow.
One of the things I
Man.
love about our show is that Sharon and I don't necessarily we want to get particular nuances of the artists and guests that we have on the show just so that we have, but it always happens. God just takes over, and it leads into conversations of transparency and that moves us. And that pivot of Sherwin talking about the miner or the one who's chipping and looking for the goal and the way it went to you, we've all experienced that. I know Sherwin has because we've talked. Um, it's so crazy. Even before the thing in Atlanta, 2 weeks ago, I literally was saying to somebody, "This is the last thing I'm going to do. This is the last thing I'm going to do," because the cost is not just the financial cost; it's the cost.
Yeah.
Mhm. A
There
major
is a
Mhm.
festival,
there's
absolutely.
there's a cost. There's a
That. Yeah.
cost of responsibility. There's a cost for the vision. There's a
Yeah.
cost for emotional. It's a cost spiritually. Am I doing it because I'm everything that could go wrong, that could possibly go wrong, other than getting a flat tire, was happening? You're thinking to myself, oh, you're getting signs from the Lord. Okay, you shouldn't be doing this in the first place. Blah blah. And I go back to the point that was piggybacking off of what Brian said earlier. the push point is you also sometimes have to do it afraid.
Absolutely.
And when you
Absolutely.
and when you push past and you do it afraid because you can't see what this is going to be. All you got was, but I know I've been called to this.
Right.
That's it.
Each of us experience, you know, you've been called to this,
Mm-hmm.
and we probably all had the point where we said, "Lord, I would prefer you take this desire from me." Period. Let
And the
me act like
people
this.
Yeah.
around you do it too.
Let
The
me act like
people
this never
around you.
happened. Let me
Mm-hmm.
act like
Yeah.
this never happened. Let me just go on about my business and, you know, families, raising families, the whole 9 yards. Your sister got somebody single here, ladies. No, sorry, I wouldn't do that on here. But anyway, it's it's the knowing that you know that you know.
Yeah.
That right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
May I say,
Absolutely.
um, God does not call the equipped; He equips the called. So when we're doing what we're out here doing, and when we're doing what God has called us to do, there kind of sort of is no backing out, because if God has given you this journey, you'll go through hell not trying to do what God has called you to do.
Woo!
You will go through more hell trying to escape what God has called you to do. Jonah is an example of that. When
Mm-hmm.
God told him to go and preach to the city of Nineveh, and he decided he wanted to go the other way because he knew what was going on in Nineveh. He knew what kind of people they were. He knew what he was faced with. So he tried to run. And then God took him through a lot. And then after his whooping, so to speak, told him to still go and do what he was called to do. Moses, the same thing. That's why even leaders and being in this industry, we have to be careful not to allow the people and the people around us to distract us or frustrate us in what we are called to do, because that's what got Moses in trouble. That's what allowed Moses not to be able to go to the promised land. He saw it, but he wasn't able to go. Why? Because he did something out of frustration with the people. And it caused God to tell him, you still got to do what I told you to do. But instead of you enjoying it, I'm only going to let you see it.
Mm, mm,
So
mm.
we don't want to get to a place where God has called us out here to do this. And because it gets frustrating, because it gets hard, he has always supplied. He has always been there. When they were out in the wilderness and Moses was leading the people, they got hungry, he sent manna. They got hungry, he found quail. He sent them something to eat. When they were thirsty, he told Moses, go talk to the rock, and water would come. He always provided. It has always been us that got out of line, that caused us to miss the blessing that God has had for us. So it is important for us that even during those stressful times, those hard times, that, like you said, piggybacking again, we have to know why we're here. We have to know what we're here for. Knowing what we're here for and what God has called us to do, knowing that He told us to do it, makes us say, I'm willing to let that go and I'm going to stay with God. I'm willing to
Mm.
give that up and I'm going to stay with God. I'm willing to sacrifice that, so I'm going to stay with God, because I know that He called me to this. And if He called me to it, it may take years, but I know He's going to bring it to fruition. He's going to perform it. He that has begun a good work in you shall perform it. He shall. There was no maybe in it. If He started it, may take a long time, but He's gonna finish it. We're gonna see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're coming out of the tunnel because God told us that this is where He wanted us to be. It's important that we stay up. It's important that we stay on the course, because there are going to be a lot of distractions. And there are going to be times, yes, like Gerald said, every other day, sometimes we want to say, you know what? Can we just be real for a minute? I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired and I don't feel like it no more. But it ain't about us. Because it's ministry. Somebody needs to hear, somebody needs to see that God is with them too. And how else is he going to show it unless he has people that he can send to say, look, if he did it for me, he can do it for you. You're in the same spot I'm in. That's where we at.
And that's God.
And that's God. That was a good plug right there. I love it.
Perfect segue.
Perfect segue.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give you a little bit of a snippet of the brand new single, That's God, La La La. So take it away.
You're playing it, Patrice?
No, it's on his side. I thought James had it.
Oh,
I thought.
I'm sorry. We wait for each other.
I thought you had it.
Oh no, I do have it, but I didn't want to skip
Okay,
anybody's shows. I didn't want to have
play it.
I didn't want to skip anybody's shows.
I know.
We're going to acapella. Somebody go.
I'm looking at James like, okay, so here we go. We're gonna do this, a little bit of a snippet of something here. Let's see if we can get. I'm looking at him like I know he got this thing going.
That's it.
That's it. That's God.
And I promise you,
Patrice, you back? You
that's
back
all
with
we
us?
got. That's all we got, and that's all we
There we
give
go.
you.
There we go.
Y'all gotta go ahead and get and download this thing at midnight.
That's it.
Yo, midnight. You literally got about 2.5 hours. If my math is correct, 2:35 for those that are gonna be nitpicky, but either way, you got it. You got it. You go watch one of your favorite shows and come back. You can get this thing. You can get this thing. And also too, James, let us know. I know you guys are going to be going live tonight. You guys are going to be playing it. You're going to be doing some stuff tonight as well too. Where can the folks tune into what you guys are doing tonight at 11? It is 11 p.m. Eastern. You guys are doing that, right?
Yep. They can tune in on our Instagram and possibly our Facebook, but definitely Instagram. They can tune in on official SENSERE. We'll be up late tonight answering some questions and also playing this record, and I'm gonna play the entire record. Hopefully that'll motivate everybody to go and download.
I'm gonna set my alarm 11 p.m. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna get me a little snack, and I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna be there at 11 p.m. I'm gonna refill my water bottle, and I'm gonna be there.
That's what I'm talking about.
For
yes,
sure,
so they
for
can find
sure,
us on
for
official
sure.
SENSERE, and you spell SENSERE SENSERE.
Well, I'm going to Gerald. Any closing remarks before you guys get ready to go live in just a little bit here?
God bless, and go download the single.
There you have it.
Short and sweet. Short and sweet. All right, so everybody, midnight tonight, the single drops. That's God, La 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 La. Listen, turn it up in your car, put it on your wireless, the Bluetooth devices in your home. Make sure them subs are nice and hot.
Take it everywhere with you.
Take it everywhere with you. going to the beach, tops down, windows down, whatever. I don't care how hot it is. Let them hear it going down the street. You're in Miami, turn it up, turn it all the way up.
Come on, shout out to Miami, shout out to South Beach. Drop that top and blast it.
For sure. So Sharon, any closing remarks before we end this?
No, man, that's it, man. Like Gerald said, man, go get it. Gerald's like, at the end of the service when everyone want to go to Golden Corral, don't bunch up the money, don't roll it up, just put the offering here. Like Gerald said, I just want to get out of here. I want to go to Golden Corral.
I can't even.
Yo, it was a pleasure, man. Just talking with you guys, hanging with you tonight, man. You guys got something super special here. Definitely continue what you're doing. Is super special. Y'all go and get the song That's God. Yes. Get the single That's God. La la la. You want to get that, you want to blast it, you want to just tap in again tonight at 11 p.m. to get your official listening of it. You want to go to their official SENSERE page, you want to do that. That's it. I got nothing else. That's it, man. I'm excited.
Listen, I'm about to invite these guys to be on the Indigo. Let's not talk about this right now. All right. Anyway, everybody around, ladies and okay. Let's let that be it. Let's let well enough alone. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Everybody that's been tuning in and hanging out with us. You dipped in, you dipped out, but you stayed with us. So thank you so much for supporting our special night. We want to just give SENSERE the whole shebang tonight and to celebrate the brand new single and that just what God is doing and what they are about to see. 20 plus years of hard work. There's a light at the end of this tunnel, and I'm so glad for even a small part to be able to help usher that light in. So, Gerald Jones, The Gospel Truth, thank you so much for being here. People don't see you too often, but you are doing your thing behind the scenes. To Brian, Daryl, Levi, J Dub, and everybody else that's part of the SENSERE band. God bless you. God keep you. And we look forward to seeing you live doing this song live. Wherever you're going to be doing this song live. Oh, wait a minute. Before we do that, do we have a name of the album yet? Are we saying it yet? Or we don't have a name yet?
We're not saying it yet.
Listen, I'm seeing this. I'm seeing. No, okay.
That's why Gerald is here. Gerald's like, not on my watch. You're not going to leak that out of my watch.
Not yet.
Let's focus.
Sherwin, we usually able to get something out of people. We ain't getting nothing tonight. They didn't even give us a crumb.
Listen, we got a lot. We got the real tonight. We got the real.
We did, but we usually get a little something extra. Okay.
Okay. I like Gerald's style. You don't want to hear too much names. The only name you need to hear now is That's God.
That's right.
La la la. That's it. You need to know nothing.
But can we at least get a couple of names that are featured on the project, or we can't get that either?
I think that's fair.
I did release some of that. So
okay, so put on our platform. So who is some of the people?
Fred Hammond is on it. Molly Music is on it. And B Slade is on it. That's all I'm gonna give you right now.
Okay, we'll take that.
Oh, baby, listen.
We'll take it.
We're gonna get something tonight.
There you go.
Touchdown.
Let them know where to follow you guys. Let them know where to follow you everywhere.
With you guys tonight. Such a blessing. I'm going to make sure that this live gets, we're going to produce it and edit it and make sure it's on Instagram for everybody to see and catch the whole interview. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. To Sharon Williams from Gospel Music Buzz, thank you once again, my partner in these music streets, for all your professionalism. And as usual, listen, the guys don't go to work, but I tell you, if you know what it is, it's not just a vibe here, baby. It's a whole mood.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey.
Thank you.
Wait. We got this has got to be commemorated. We're going to put this right on here. Boom. There we go. All right, everybody. Have a great night.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
All right, you too. Good night.